So I think I should preface this by acknowledging that we've known each other for 5 years now at this point.
Yeah, just about.
So one of the main reasons when we met sort of through the group chat that I kind of got, for lack of a better word, attracted to what you were speaking about is because you mentioned that you're going into seminary at the time and also trying to become a sort of religious figure. So taking it all the way back, growing up, were you the type of kid who was into religion, or was it like your mom, your dad, pretty much they made a routine and you had no choice of staying home?
Okay, well, good question. So, a kind of bit of both. My mother is Italian Catholic, Irish Catholic, so the Catholic of Catholics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And growing up, she originally wanted to raise a Catholic kid, and so we did start going every Sunday to Mass, and I was never really connected to that. I was very, in many ways, I was very scarred by that theology, because I remember going home and thinking of like this God who sees everything I can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember saying, like, God sees everything I can do. God see me doing this. God see me doing that. And is God judging me all the time? And so that was actually a really big turn off. And I think for a lot of us in the United States context, this judging figure can be very impacting on one's upbringing and one's formation. So though I had a very steady upbringing in church, I felt at many times removed because it just didn't feel right to me. And then when we ended up going to the Lutheran church, probably when I was in the second grade, my mother had taken us out of Catholic school and 107, it's very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And she started putting us in Lutheran church because she had my younger brother in the daycare there and just loved that the pastor was a woman. And the church is so small where you can then create these really healthy relationships with the members of the congregation. And that led me to having better relationships with actual spiritual leaders and getting the support that I think all young people deserve if they're being brought up in a faith.
And was the community different between the Catholic Church and the Lutheran Church, or was it just similar but different belief systems?
Community and belief systems. That's a little interesting of a question. So in terms of belief, Catholics and Lutherans are like cousins. That's how I always explain it. Catholics, Lutherans, Episcopalians, Presbyterians, because the Lutheran, Episcopalian, and Presbyterian tradition, we all stem pretty closely to the Reformation, right? Those are kind of like your founding faith of the Reformation. And so we carry a lot of things from the Catholic tradition because a lot of our theologians, our reformers, they didn't necessarily want to start a political tradition, they just wanted to reform the Catholic Church. So we do have a lot of similar values. Our liturgy, aka the style of worship, is very similar as well. I remember not feeling much of a difference. I knew all the songs and everything like that. In terms of community, though, the community was very different. Where I'm from and where my Catholic church was, it was a very multicultural community. The school that we had went to was very multicultural in the sense that you had a large, first generation American-born Haitian population there. You had a lot of biracial kids there, my family included. It was really well-founded, really well-made. And then I remember when going into the Lutheran tradition, I don't think I noticed it too much because we were brought up in so many different spaces, but it is predominantly white in a lot of churches. And so the church that I grew up in was very Scandinavian Lutheran. One of the people who actually built the congregation, I think their last name was Gustafson, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so community-wise, that was a little different, and the majority of our congregation was a lot older too.
And with that in mind, since you transferred from Catholicism to Lutheranism in the second grade and went into a school environment as well, did that kind of solidify your faith until you reached an older age, or was there still the usual puberty times, there was some question of faith, or maybe thinking that you're more so being tested than blessed?
So I think still, even in the Lutheran faith, we were active in the Sunday school and things like that. I wasn't fully connected yet. I think I was asking a lot more questions. I remember my pastor during confirmation, I would say all these things, well, why do we do this? Or why do we believe that? And what if God really isn't like such and such, right? And I remember my pastor saying, like, Nick, have you ever thought of becoming a pastor? And I was like, I'm the one here questioning everything, right? And I didn't realize that questioning is a huge part of your discernment. And even in confirmation class, I didn't necessarily feel a call, and I didn't necessarily feel directly connected. There was a point where I was searching for other faiths. I remember going to one of my Muslim friends at school and being like, yo, I'm in 8th grade global history and we're learning about Islam. This seems really dope and I really value these things. Tell me more. I remember going to different churches, and I remember at one point even saying, I don't think I believe in a God. And it wasn't until I was about 14 where I had this really traumatic experience. My family experienced a trauma, and that made me start speaking. And that made me seek comfort and support through my pastor, who was wonderful at that, and led me to other outlets that also happen to be in the faith, especially outdoor ministry and youth ministry. And then I met more great pastors who didn't just do that for me, but did that for so many other young people. And that made me say, wow, I want to be like them. I want to offer the support to folks the way that they offer support to me.
People that would feel like they were getting tested by God and possibly feel like they're getting pushed away, yet instead that brought you deeper into the faith. Do you think certain issues that usually happen during the teen years is why most people, especially our age, me being 26 years, about the same, I keep forgetting how old you are, I don't know why. Do you think that situations that happen in our teenage years is usually why people in our generation usually stray away by the time they hit 30?
You know, the response to that, I think it's not always just what happens to us, but how the church responds to us, right? So for me, to give you an idea of that, so someone in my family had committed suicide, and at that same time, I was also coming out, right? So I was coming out at the time, I had identified as lesbian, and at this point, I very openly identified as queer, just so we're all on the same page with that. And so, first off, experiencing, having someone in your family, die by suicide, that's hard, right? That's painful. And what happened with me, at least, was a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of questioning. And so rather than reject it, I had people respond and say, well, I don't know why this happened, but we can walk through this together, right? Rather than trying to say, oh, it's because of this, oh, it's because of that, oh, this person's damned to hell, oh, it's because they didn't have enough faith. I never had that. I'm thankful I never had that. And also coming out, at that time and receiving that same kind of respect and kind of support from my church community was huge. For people to say that no, you're not damned to hell because of this, and no, God doesn't hate you because of this, because of who you are, because of you wanting to live your authentic self, because you see yourself in a loving, committed relationship with someone of the same gender. That doesn't make you less worthy of God's love, right? And the reality is, when we experience these kinds of situations as young people, as teenagers, oftentimes, not only not say oftentimes, but in many cases, when people leave the church after those experiences, it's because someone said to them that this was wrong, that they are damned, that they are no longer loved, that they are no longer valuable, right?
Yeah.
And that's a spiritual trauma that a lot of people go through, which is incredibly unfortunate.
And with that in mind, you started off questioning the church. Would it be preacher, pastor? I always get confused with what's the proper terminology per religion. What would you consider yourself and also the person who inspired you? Are you guys pastors, or what's the terminology?
So I'm not yet ordained, so I'm not a pastor.
Okay.
But I'm on that track, and I'm in the interview process, so soon enough you can officially call me pastor, and that is still a little ways away. The person who supported and accompanied me in my journey, all of those people were pastors. And then there were a few lay people, the not ordained people in the church that are very active. There was a few of those too who supported me. So at this point, I kind of go by preacher. I don't really go by vicar because I'm not really a student anymore. I just really go by Nic.
So, how does one decide to go on that track? Because there's, of course, you have other, based off your education, you have a master's in education. You, of course,
Business.
master's in business. I'm sorry. Why did I get education from? And also you used to be a basketball player, so there were other avenues you could have took outside of going to seminary and going on the track of being a pastor. So what made being a pastor the thing you wanted to do with your life and make it into a career?
Well, I would say, first of all, being a pastor is not a career, it's a vocation. And that's really important to kind of decipher. And not only is a vocation, it's a call, right? We're all called to certain things. There's plenty of things that I'm very talented at, and there's plenty of things that other pastors are talented at. There's plenty of things that our lay people, the people in the church who serve the church in other capacities are good at, and some of them are called to preach, and some of them could probably be good pastors, but being ordained may not be necessarily their call, right? So we all have gifts, we all have spiritual gifts, we all have ways that we can build each other in our community. But what calls us is much different. And when God, and I believe, I should say, when God or your higher power calls you to something, you can't escape it, right? We see that a lot in Scripture as well, for those who use Scripture, where people have tried to run from their call, and next thing you know, you're getting swallowed by a whale, right? Right? And so that's just the imagery that's created to say that you can't escape this kind of stuff. So I guess for me, when I had first felt that call, I knew that was the track I wanted to go on. And to be clear, though, I've always said, well, what if I want to do this? Or I should prepare myself to do that. And even now, my full-time job isn't necessarily the work of a pastor, but I am doing young adult formation with a Christian background, or with a Christian lens, I should say, in faith-based work.
Okay. And when you went into school, how is seminary and theologian school set up? Is it you just basically study the Bible as a basis, or do they have it like with specialized, where if you want to work within a Jewish church, they focus on that, a Muslim, I keep forgetting, mosque, you focus on that, or if a Christian church, you just focus on their text? Or do they have it kind of like you generalize everything and then you specialize, if you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're trying to say. So theological education looks very different in different capacities. So in my particular tradition, if you want to be a pastor, if you want to be ordained, you are required to go to seminary. I believe it's very similar in the Catholic, Episcopalian, Methodist, as well as Presbyterian tradition. If you want to be a rabbi, from my understanding, you also go to rabbinical school, which is their form of a seminary education or theological education. For imams, I'm not exactly quite sure what type of school they go to, but I'm pretty sure that the opportunity to go to a divinity school is also something that is there. So it really depends on what your tradition is, and people that are of the Christian faith, from my understanding, I've seen them go through seminary, go through a divinity school, and some people don't even do that. There are some traditions where if they see someone that's called to preach and teach, they are mentors them. And so they learn a lot of this stuff within their own traditions and within their own communities. And so some of them do go to Bible school and, go forward like that. Some people just work under a pastor and get their knowledge and education that way.
Do you think there's a based off of the different ways that you can get the calling or become part of the church as one of the leaders, which way do you think works best to have a proper foundation, especially if you're going to be speaking to other people about the religious text?
Can you repeat that question one more time? I think I got what you're saying, but I want to be clear.
Let me rephrase it then. To be a church leader, do you think they should have the foundation of going to a proper school and getting training, or else should they learn through kind of like the internship method of that you mentioned from a pastor who's already been established? Which way you think gives a better foundation, especially if they're going to be taking that kind of role?
I think that's complicated. I really believe that there's so many different ways that we can serve and we can learn. So I think in many ways it does depend. A lot of, at least my seminary context, we've been moving more and more away from this higher education format where you have to learn Greek and Hebrew. I know the Catholics have to learn Latin, right? So we've been moving a little more farther away from that and getting more to practical stuff. And so I think that also comes like a lot of things as well. I think having a combination of both is really important. I think having the field side experience where you are in a congregation and learning and under someone and you are preaching and teaching and you are given authority to try out some ministry. I think having that space to make mistakes is important. And at the same time, I'm kind of a little biased in terms of having a higher education because for me, I find so much value in having a better understanding of Hebrew. I think it's really important to have someone lay out different theological perspectives on how people understand Old Testament and New Testament. And I say that because sometimes when we pass things down, it becomes one, repetitive, and two, one-dimensional, right? We're not looking for other ways that you can look at something. Hey, honey, bunny. Sorry, my cat. And so there's so many, can you over here? So I think that it's important. So for me, at least, like I'm Lutheran, and at the same time, what many Lutherans in the United States look like don't reflect me. So some of the struggles that I see on a daily basis and how I relate to Scripture may not look like a traditional theological take from a Lutheran, right? So I need those additional resources. I need systematic theology because of that. So I think that's very important.
And bringing up how you have a different perspective and also a different way of looking at Scripture, let's talk about your sermons a little bit. Now, I've been at least 4 or 5 your sermons live, and of course I listened to them on your YouTube page. And I was just kind of wondering, when it comes to the way you do your sermons, is that also how you study, trying to mix kind of pop culture references with the religious text so that you can remember it for testing, things like that better?
So it's not how I study, no. I really do try to just look particularly at what's happening. But what I think is important is to be able to see Scripture in life today. Because the thing about Scripture, at least in my holy text, and my holy text is the Bible, or one of my holy texts, I should say, is the Bible. Part of what the Bible explains is putting religion with culture and religion with society, right? So it's not just, if we look at it in one way of just saying God said this, this, and this, and not looking at the historical context that's happening, looking at, what was making society at that time, and why these things would be said, and how they would be said, I think something from it. And so for me, I think it's important to connect society then and connect religion and faith then to what's happening now. Because sometimes we feel so far removed from these things. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And in terms of religious text, there's so many different kinds of Bibles, from the King James Bible and a few different other ones. Is there like a choosing process of which one you use as the foundation for your faith and foundation from what you preach from? Or, because I know each one has a different translation of the original text. So how do you handle that?
Well, I'll say that not everyone has a different translation of the original text. Some of them are translations from other translations, and that's what makes the Bible so complicated, right? Where it's not everyone reading the Hebrew and reading the Greek and saying, this is what I'm getting from it. Some people are reading the King James and trying to adapt it, and that continues to create a veil from our understanding of what was actually happening at the time. So my faith tradition will commonly use New Revised Standard Version, and I trust what my faith tradition believes is to be a healthy version of the text. So I do like to use the New Revised Standard Version. But then there's some versions that I won't name that are a little more loose with how they recite Scripture or how they interpret Scripture. So it is important because sometimes little words change, and those little words can change everything. A great example is, I want to say it's in Song of Solomon, where it's like, I may be black, but I'm beautiful. And that but was never there, right? That but was actually an right? I am black and I'm beautiful. And I'm very almost paraphrasing that. But just the idea of a but versus an and changed entirely the context, which can be used to silence a lot of people and can be used to uplift a lot of people, right? That's something to always keep in mind.
And taking back to, again, bringing culture to religious text, do you ever fear, I guess is the proper way to say that when you're speaking to a congregation that you comparing Beyonce to the scripture, bringing Black Panther to the scripture, that may make some people a bit more old school uncomfortable?
In my heart of hearts, I like to believe I'm a little delicate with that. When I'm in a context for a long enough time, I can use some of the older references. So, like, for example, I should say, one of the sermons I gave was about Whitney Houston's love, Whitney Houston song, Saving All My Love for You, or using pop culture references Selma. And Selma is such a historically important and culturally important film where I had no doubt that the context I was preaching in would have either seen it or would have heard about it or would have lived it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing applies with Black Panther. When I went to the congregation and did my Black Panther sermon, one, I like to think that I gave enough understanding of what was happening to be able to still receive from this. But two, I said, don't watch Black Panther, and everyone said, oh yeah. So I like to think that I have a pretty good feel on what congregation I am preaching to.
Now, stepping away from being on the path to become a preacher and kind of taking in the personal side of it, how do you handle, with being a religious figure, studying the Bible and everything, how do you handle dating, wanting new experiences that may not be taken in a certain light when it comes to how the text is and dealing with things of that nature? Like, do you feel stifled in a way when it comes to dating, especially as a queer woman, when it comes to dating and having to, when you speak with somebody, let them know that you're on this path or anything like that? Is there any complications that most women have to deal with?
I think there's a lot of intersections happening here, because it's not just like dating and going to be a person being a spiritual leader,
Mm-hmm.
but it's dating, being a spiritual leader, and being a woman. It's dating, being a spiritual leader, being a woman, and being a person of color, and being a leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of different things that do feel like a hindrance on my social life, I guess you could say, and the way my faith tradition works, or I should say, the certain values that are placed on people that are seeking ordination.
Mm-hmm.
That is almost pretty unique to my faith tradition in particular. So that in addition to everything else, yeah, they can definitely feel a bit like a burden. I remember trying to date when I was in seminary, and some of the same questions I would always be asking people, can you have sex? Right? And this is like, day one. In fact, the fact that people are thirsty is disgusting. Should it be the first thing you're asking me? But it was always a reminder of how people understand me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not that they know me, but how they understand the things that I'm doing. So there was a lot of teaching that we involved with dating, which can sometimes be draining and sometimes exciting, especially when people want to learn and actually care and are not just asking them to see how long it will take for them to pass second dates or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm. And does that put, with the religious faith, and also because you're trying to become a spiritual leader within the church, a more bigger pressure on trying to get married and things like that, or is dating still just dating, especially in your 20s?
I think there's been a combination of a lot of things. In seminary, it is not uncommon for someone to be in their first year, be engaged by their second year, and be married before internship. That is not an uncommon thing. And I think we all feel the pressure of settling down differently, but I think we all feel it in some way. And it can be very frustrating, especially when you do see people kind of like, hitting step 1, 2, and 3 real quick, and you're still trying to get step 1.
So would you say when it comes to certain experiences that you don't have yet, since you're not married, you don't have children, does that invalidate you being able to speak on that part of what it means to be part of a church community, to possibly as a spiritual leader do as the one that you dealt with as a teen did, speak to them about, hey, you're having marital issues, you can come to me, you're having issues as a parent, that stuff like that, what I guess I'm trying to say is, while you have the religious text background, you don't have the personal experience. So do you feel like that kind of makes it difficult for you to go into those kind of spaces and speak in that kind of stuff?
Well, I think to put it in perspective, a lot of politicians tend to be men, and they always have something to say about what it means to be a woman and the rights of women, right? So when it comes to people talking about things they don't know about, I think that's a very common thing in society. But part of my job, part of the job of spiritual leaders is not necessarily to dictate how people should live their lives, but to be open and to listen. And so what our job is to, what I would say our job is, to listen to whatever is happening, and so hold up certain things that are being mentioned and encouraging them to reflect, right? My job is to interpret and support you, right? In these different ways that you are going through crisis, whether it's raising children, whether it's going through a divorce, but there's some underlying tones that are happening there that I can relate to, right? I don't necessarily have to be married to understand what it means to like be hurt, right? To feel lied to or to feel unsupported by a partner, right? There's different places that I can operate from to create that same sort of empathy, or to really discover that same sort of empathy towards someone going through something. Honestly, I think how people may receive me or other people like me that may not have kids at the moment or may not be married, that's on them. But if you are choosing us to be your spiritual leader, I would hope that they trust that where we're coming from is a place of understanding, and a place of trying to work with you.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And now kind of have like these final 5 questions that I've gotten, well, inspired by James Lipton. You ever watch Inside the Actor Studio?
No.
Oh, you're missing out. But we're going to run through the 5 and then that'll be it. First question, who or what inspires you to continue this path? Okay, number 2, do you feel like in your field, have you started to gain ground and gotten comfortable?
Absolutely. I feel in my past today, I'm at a place with my full-time job that is doing the exact work that I want to do, just without ordination. I feel that people are getting to know me more in the Metro Chicago area where I'm presently serving, and I feel that I'm being supported by my elders in the faith, which is a huge thing to see them see my call and want to support me and accompany me in any way possible.
Okay. And the next one is, what is one thing if someone wants to follow your path, you tell them they must do and what they should avoid?
I would say what they must do is read. You must read. I think in order to do this kind of work, to have a better understanding of the world around us, you have to read. You have to read different theologies. You have to read people from different perspectives. You definitely have to read. And what to avoid, I would say rushing into things or speaking before knowing something. I think I make that mistake all the time where I'm so passionate to say something on a subject that I may not always know immediately. And I think part of this work is that we need to just listen, right?
Next, as of where you are now, where do you see the room for growth?
For where I am?
Yes, from where you are right now.
I see growth in every direction that I need to go into. I don't think that I am necessarily at my prime in any, whether it's preaching or my teaching or my fluency in Spanish or my missional outreach or my liturgy. I think that a lot of the